Hello, and welcome to the ASMR special for Queer and Pleasant Strangers.
That's ASMR, and not a weird angel thing.
Indeed, we're definitely doing this for, artistic design reasons. We thought it'd be a good episode.
And not because we've both fucked our throats.
Exactly.
And when I say that, I mean like with coughing and stuff.
Yes.
Not the other possible option.
Definitely, this is a sexy thing or a make your hair on your neck tingle thing. And definitely not just because we fucked our voices up a little bit.
A little bit, yes.
So welcome to the Queer and Pleasant Strangers ASMR special, where all of our most abrasive voices will be toned down just a little bit.
Soft, soothing, relaxation.
Ah.
Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Magnadale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnadale, and welcome to an episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers. We're your hosts, two queer trans ladies. We do a little podcast where we talk about our week and what we've been up to, and we do silly voices and skits, except fewer silly voices this week, because we're on week 2 of struggling voice time. We've both had a bit of a throat illness.
Yes, I've got less squeaky.
Yeah, yesterday was a real squeaky day. Today I have the the middle tones back, but I can't go too low or too high. I'm stuck in this range.
I've got a lot more resonance than I'm used to.
Yeah. It's the voice is still on its way back, but we're going to do an episode. It might just be a little gentle of an episode.
And perhaps a bit shorter.
It might be a bit of a short one. We're a bit ill and could do with the rest and recovery. Well, let's get right into it then. What have you been playing this week?
I have played a huge amount of Deep Rock Galactic.
You have? How has that been going?
I am now up to level 76 out of 100 in the Battle Pass. The Season Pass.
Wow.
And they're estimating the new season's going to start in April, so hopefully I will have finished everything by then.
I don't think I've ever played that much of a Battle Pass.
I got my emo comb over hair.
Yay, you got your emo hair.
Yeah, that was the important one. I was like, I have to have the emo hair.
Yeah.
And now I have it.
I'm glad.
I have emo dwarves now.
There has been so much game in this game that you did not pay for that was just part of Game Pass. This is a lot of game in here.
It's a lot of game.
They have been very generous with the amount of game in this game.
I have gamed mightily.
Yay!
Yeah, it's. I feel like the intense playing is probably gonna fall off a bit once the new season starts.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time to not for a bit.
I mean, getting into a game that intensely, it happens sometimes. I personally know this at the moment. But, it's...
Well, that sounds like a segue.
Oh, are we going to segue already?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I'm still playing Pokemon. It's the main thing I'm playing.
Which
one? Pokemon Legends Arceus. So I have caught one of every Pokemon. I have like 6 Pokemon left to get to level 10 on their dex entries to get my shiny charm, which is going to take me like a couple of hours at most. I've done all of the main story and all of the post-game content, and I have perfect grades for research on a good handful of Pokemon, and I have like 85 shiny Pokemon already, and I am still envisioning spending hours with this game tick boxing all the little tasks on my decks, because now I've organised my boxes and all of my Pokemon are neatly organised in their Pokedex order, and I know that there's space for all of them because I have all the ones in the decks now, and I'm just going through being a little methodical Pokemon researcher, and I love this video game. It is... I think there is no doubt it is my favourite Pokemon game.
Yay!
And as someone that has had an obsessive level interest in this series for years, to get the top spot for my favourite series, it's a very good video game. I like it a lot.
Nice.
I'm very, 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 very into it.
Uh-huh.
Yay!
I'm glad you're enjoying the thing.
Yeah,
so many other people are enjoying the thing.
It's been
people who've been away from the series.
It's been so nice not being the only person excited about a Pokemon game several weeks after it's come out. To still be playing it. Like, This is the first Pokemon game in the 7.5 years that Podquisition's been a thing that all three Podquisition hosts have really enjoyed the same Pokemon game. Conrad and Steph are still streaming it weeks after it came out.
Nice.
It's very nice for the thing I like to be the thing everyone's talking about.
Heck yeah.
It reminds me of being a kid and getting really into Pokemon originally when it was the cultural phenomenon, and I'm like, oh, yay, everyone likes the thing I like.
I'm part of the in crowd again.
Yeah. That being said, there is one quest in that game that can only be completed by reading a book in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, a game that was not very good and not very well liked, and don't put a quest in your game that you have to play a different game to complete the quest.
Please no.
That's not nice design.
That's not nice design.
No. So yeah, not much else to say on that other than Pokemon good, Pokemon real good. I've started an article I want to write at some point that's like, this game is great. There are things I want to see change going forward, and these are them, but it is great. And I've been starting work on that, but like, I love this game very much.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you been playing?
I played through a game of Great Western Trail solo.
Ooh.
Gave the Automa a go.
How did that go?
Yeah, it was a lot quicker, certainly, than that first game we played. The scores were much closer together, and although I lost, I was only like, I think there's like 6 points in it.
Yeah.
Although I only scored like 5 points more than I did in that much longer game that we played. There was a lot less checking rules stuff. There was more sort of care to refine hands and like look at how things were doing. Didn't get a huge amount of building done. I would like, but I think that was mostly to do with which characters came out of the bags. There wasn't a lot of
you work with what you've got.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of builders coming out of the bags into the job market, so I wasn't able to do a lot of that. But I got a full set of cowboys at one point, although I then pumped them out into the stations. So there wasn't a huge amount of chance to do that stuff. But yeah, it was fun.
Yay!
What about you?
What about me? I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
And I'll probably talk about the plot a little bit more next week, because this will be going up for Patreon people before the game is out, and I don't want to talk about spoilers this early, but I want to keep my review thoughts on it really short. If you played the original Horizon Zero Dawn, and you really enjoyed that game, and it was exactly your kind of open world, you're going to love this. This is more of the same. It is that same structure of open world. It's a bit more polished. It's a bit more refined. There's a few nice quality of life changes, but it's fundamentally that game you enjoyed before with a new story in a new setting. Go play some more of it. If you did not like the first, I don't think what is here will convert you into enjoying it now. I think that fundamentally you will either gel or not with this series' approach to open world design, where there are constantly a million things to be doing and ever-growing list of the millions of things you could be doing, and that's either going to be great for you or it's going to be overwhelming, and this sequel will not change where you fall on that spectrum, probably. That being said, absolutely gorgeous video game. I've played the PS5 version, I've played the PS4 version. It is a good-looking game both ways round. I get the impression this was built for PS4 and pushed up to PS5 rather than PS5 game they chiseled bits away from to wedge it on PS4. It's got that sort of feel. The narrative is, I think, the most interesting thing about it. I have not finished the story so far, but it feels like a natural continuance of the last game, whilst also being very relevant to the state of the world today. It's very well acted. I have some problems with the accessibility support in the game being a bit lackluster compared to other Sony first-party studios games. Mainly, lack of high contrast mode support is a weird lack. lack of like there's a lot of like little things like there's more subtitle customization than there was in the first game, but definitely not up to the standard of other Sony titles. There's nice stuff like co-pilot mode being in there, which is really appreciated. I don't like how the aim assist feels. It doesn't sort of lightly magnetize you to where you're supposed to be aiming. It magnetizes your projectile once you've sent it, so you might not look like you're aimed in the right place, but the thing will still hit the target, and that feels weird. I know some people prefer that, but not for me. It's more Horizon. It was a very good game, and it's more of another very good game if you have a lot of time to sink into a big open world. They still haven't fixed the waypoint pathfinding. It doesn't work in dungeons. That's weird. There's just a lot of stuff where they put it in, it feels like to tick accessibility boxes without going, how will the disabled user be using this in practice, and are we filling that need? Like, yeah, you can make very faint outlines always show up where you can climb. Why is there not an option to make them very bright and vibrant? Waypoint checkpointing, why is there not an option to do it in dungeons? It feels a bit laissez-faire on that, but it's a good game. It's a good open world, shoot stuff with a bow and arrow as a strong lady game.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you? What else have you played?
I've been playing some The Last Kids on Earth and the Staff of Doom, which recently came to Game Pass.
That's an amazing game name.
It is. I get the impression it is a sequel of some sort, but I could not tell you what to, because I've never heard of it before.
No,
but
well, how is this one so far?
It seems fine. I'm not very far into it.
Yeah.
It advertises itself as having some like base building mechanics and some upgradey stuff, and being about shooting zombies and monster things, but also there are other monsters that are your friends.
Okay.
So it starts off, some bad person turns up and destroys a thing. They are trying to make the MacGuffin, get the full bits of the MacGuffin to do bad thing.
Oh, I see, getting the MacGuffin bits.
Exactly. There are monsters who are your friends, and they all seem like quite cool character designs. Then there are these 4 kids who are... They all have slightly different basic weapons, and they are bumbling around town, like the main one from all of the trailers has like a baseball bat he swings around. There's a girl with a power glove thing that shoots bullets. And yeah, you go around. Sometimes you're blowing up bits of street scenery like letterboxes and stuff, and gathering nuts, which you use to upgrade things at your treehouse. You build new blueprints. Periodically, you will go into a wave-based defense thing where you are protecting your treehouse from hordes of zombies, and while also running out around in front of your treehouse. The different types of turrets that you have researched already will be available to use to defend your base, and then later on you can upgrade those and make them stronger and better, while also running around in front and blatting zombies that are getting a bit too close. So it's there's a lot going on in it.
Yeah.
At the moment, the sort of the primary thing is the take your kids potentially in a group of 4 with other people online.
Yeah.
And go do some sort of brawling and shooting in a sort of top-down isometric type thing.
Okay.
And that's just fine. Combat doesn't feel particularly exciting. And I don't know if it's going to get better later on, but for what I've played so far, it's felt a bit like, okay, sure. But I'm curious. I'm definitely going to go look more at it.
The way you describe this reminds me of a roguelike I played on Game Pass that involved a magician with cards, and I don't remember the name of it, but it'll be easy enough to find. Where, like, I had nothing actively bad about it, but I was like, it's fine. There are better things in this genre I could be playing that'd be more satisfying, and I'm intrigued, but I don't know whether I want to keep playing because it's just fine in a genre that has good stuff. And I don't know if that's...
I mean, I haven't seen a game that wants to do this, and maybe somebody will be able to tell us in the comments that these sorts of things are being done better in other places.
Okay, so it's not that it's being done better elsewhere, it's just, it's doing it fine here.
A lot of the things that appeal to me about it are stuff that I used to like play in games on Congregate a lot. But I haven't really seen in what would, I guess, be a commercial release.
Yeah. Okay.
And the idea of sort of jamming those things together is really good. Occasionally you even get in a car, in like a vehicle and can run zombies down. And again, that's fine. It took a little bit of getting used to the steering on that. But
so it's mixing interesting ideas together, but the execution of them all is... execution of each one.
Most of them are fine.
Yeah.
The primary one, where you are literally just running around blatting zombies, the camera feels too close in, but I think that is partly to do with them trying to hide stuff around the map.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're going to have to work out how to get to that thing. Oh, you just walk around that car and there's a way to it from the other side. But otherwise it feels like really, really zoomed in for what I'm used to these days.
Yeah.
It's not quite like Diablo-esque because it doesn't have... it doesn't have like the random loot stuff with it.
Yeah.
You're mostly just picking up pizza for health and nuts to upgrade stuff and use as currency. And then eventually you're sort of potentially finding chests that might have a blueprint in. And then when you get a blueprint, you can take it back home and build that blueprint into armour or a new type of weapon or a new type of turret. Yeah. But I mean, the tower defense stuff was fine. The upgrade system was fine. The hub world was quite interesting. The maps themselves are quite interesting, but just that core thing of top-down isometric shooting doesn't... And maybe it's just a single-player thing. Maybe it would be better with friends, but...
Well, if it has crossplay between PC and Xbox, I'm happy to try it in multiplayer with you and see if that improves it at all.
Maybe. We shall see. We got some time over the weekend, perhaps.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. What about you? What else have you been playing?
I think that's it for me, really. I've just been trying to get through Horizon ready for the end of this week so I can talk about it in some depth.
Yeah.
It's been a big week trying to get through Horizon and Pokemon.
Well, the AAA is up now. People can look at AAA.
People can go check out my accessibility episode that Jane edited about Horizon Forbidden West accessibility review. Go give that a read, a watch. But yeah, next week, once the game is out, I will be a bit more free to talk about some of the plot elements, and that's the stuff I really want to dig into that I've been pushing through to try and get to the end of, just to talk about those. But yeah, I think that's everything I've played this week.
Well then.
Time for this.
Hello dear.
Oh, hello dear, how have you been? How are you doing?
I've been a little bit under the weather.
And so have I, funnily enough.
Yes.
But I've been trying to get a sort of knock the thing on the head, you see.
Yes, what have you been trying for that?
Well, you know, there's the obvious. You have some paracetamol, you have the strepsils, you have the lemsips, you have...
Cherry.
Yeah, exactly. Then you start moving on to the alcohols. You get your sherry, cosmopolitan,
Yes,
sherry,
sherry.
some vodka, another sherry.
Support.
Well, exactly, because alcohol is good for killing germs.
Well, exactly. They put it in the hand wash, therefore you put it in yourself.
Yeah, they put it in the mouthwash to kill the germs in your mouth.
Exactly.
So by my metric, more alcohol better.
Yes, I'm having a sherry enema at 5.
Well, exactly. And what I've heard is that rest and relaxation are the best thing for recovery. And the amount of sherry I've had, I can't get out of this chair, so I'm going to be resting and relaxing whether I like it or not.
Absolutely, dear, absolutely. It's very important to make sure we look after ourselves with a little glass of sherry.
Just a little
glass of sherry.
Medicinal.
Yes. Hair of the doctor that bit me.
Order. I'm going to regret this voice any minute.
Oh, I think so too.
It's time we started cracking down on crime.
Oh, I've heard that people want us to be tough on crime. What sort of crimes do you have in mind?
Well, let's see. They want us to crack down on tax dodging.
Oh, no.
Polluting.
No.
The way private companies have been mismanaging the infrastructure.
Oh, God, no. That's profitable for us when they give us the paybacks.
As my husband actually manages all
Exactly,
that.
I know.
The COVID parties.
Oh, God, no. Those are a right laugh.
Breaching restrictions during COVID.
Oh, no. Well, for them, yes. For us, no.
Cronyism.
Oh, God, no. Where would I be without cronyism?
Right.
I wouldn't have a job.
Yeah, absolutely. My uncle's cousin didn't get to this job for nothing. Right, let's see. What about that one confirmed case of voter fraud at the last election?
Oh, that one that voted in favour of our party.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we're not going to crack down on the people voting for our party, but we
No.
could surely use it as an excuse to crack down on the other party's ability to vote.
I'm so glad we got that guy to do that. ID vote, ID vote,
Vote
ID.
ID.
So, what have you watched?
Well, I don't think we've talked about having watched Star Trek Prodigy Season 1 yet, have we?
No, that was fun.
Yeah, it is a, I believe, Nickelodeon sort of CGI animated kids show in that sort of vein of like a the animated Clone Wars sort of vein, I think.
The second Clone Wars, not
yes,
the original Clone
the
Wars.
second Clone Wars. Sorry, to be clear. Following a group of youngsters who have escaped from a prison colony. On a what is clearly what appears to be a Federation starship that is meant to be used as a training vessel and has a little hologram of Janeway on it.
Oh.
And they're trying to work out how to suddenly deal with having control of a starship that they didn't before and not knowing what they should do with that, and also not being taken back into custody to be in this prison colony.
And also the fact that the whole thing of the prison colony is that none of them share a language.
Yes.
And without any kind of translation ability, such as we usually see in Star Trek, they cannot communicate with each other, which has to be very isolating.
Indeed. So this ship is not only, the first time this crew has come together, but the first time they've been able to communicate with any of the other prisoners, and it's a sweet little series.
Oh. With some beautiful character design.
Yeah, some of the early character choices are a little bit grating, and I understand what they're doing. They're setting up deliberate, very clear archetypes so that they can do something with them. There's a couple of characters I found a little annoying, but they were clearly doing so deliberately to work towards something, which I think worked.
I thought the stories have all been very good so far. I've really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I like this very different story in the Star Trek world, and we need more of that.
And it feels like it's a... Whereas Lower Decks felt like What If Star Trek Family Guy,
yes.
this definitely feels like what if we didn't patronise kids, but it was Star Trek?
Yeah. It's like
Because it's dark in places.
Yeah, like there's a little bit of gross out humor occasionally, and a little bit of like lowest denominator humor. But yeah, there are some heavy dark moments. There are some surprisingly heavy hits in there, and like it's worth going through. And I'm like, I wasn't sold immediately, but there were a few episodes a little way in where I was like, oh, I see where you're going. But yeah, Prodigy, well worth a go. Don't be put off by, like, if the first couple of episodes don't grab you. It's worth persisting, I think.
I think by the time they found the ship, you're probably going to know whether you like it or not.
I think so, yeah. What about you? What have you watched?
Well, we watched most of the sort of everything up to the more recent batch of Discovery episodes.
Yes, we hadn't watched any of season 4 yet,
Yeah.
and we watched up to what I feel like
Episode
is
7, I think.
the big cliffhanger
Yes.
arrived.
There is a new episode up
yeah.
as of last Wednesday. But
There's at least one we haven't seen as of recording, but I still think Discovery is some of the best Star Trek in years.
Absolutely.
I don't understand the people that are like, it's not Star Trek. I'm like, it's great, it's wonderful.
It's great. It's very Star Trek, and it's amazingly gay, and I love that.
Yeah, it's... Season 4 has been doing a really good job of, like, exploring character arcs and giving, like, there's been some really good emotional back and forths going on.
Mhm.
I am so on tenterhooks about where things are going, and okay, look, the big cliffhanger we've reached, I kind of saw that the person involved was going to be involved, saw it a mile off. The execution was still real good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I continue to be a big fan of Discovery.
Yeah, I think it's a great series. The visual effects are amazing. The music's really good. The characters are really nicely written.
Yeah.
I feel a great connection to a lot of the characters, which has certainly been lacking from some of the others. I mean, considering that I never really even watched Enterprise.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of episodes, was like,
This is a Star Trek series that got me to care about more than the surrogate character that is the lone isolated one. Like, usually you can get me to care about the AI doctor or you're the last one of your species, or you're the android. To get me to care about the rest of them takes work.
yes.
And I think one thing I think they've done really well this season is character arcs where there are things left unsaid and there's like awkward silence without it feeling like they're just padding for time. Of like, they've had very good portrayal of nuanced, we don't know how to talk about this,
Yes.
in ways that vary and don't stagnate and do move the plot forward, and I think that's a very difficult thing to pull off.
It hasn't been rushed. It hasn't been. It hasn't felt like padding, as you say, when they do need to have those pause moments.
Yeah.
A good use of moments of silence and
Also,
consideration.
I think that episode with Tilly and the trainee students might be one of my favourite Star Trek episodes ever. It was very well done.
Oh, yes.
It was so... I was caught off guard. It was good. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying that.
Yay. What else have you watched?
Well, we watched Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. An enjoyable enough time with some homoerotic overtones and a fight scene at the end.
Yeah, and... yeah, it's probably spoilers. I'm not going to mention that.
Yeah.
Something that was set up and then just wasn't paid off.
Yeah, and I still think that's being set up for something. I feel like it's being set up to go, this universe, that can connect, so that something future can do that.
Maybe.
I think they're just trying to set that groundwork, but if what you liked about the first Venom movie was it basically being a romantic comedy about Venom and Eddie Brock, this is basically that. This is a romantic comedy. It is a romantic comedy about the first breakup after you move in, after a couple have moved in together, and not feeling like they've worked out what their shared experience is yet, and going off and trying different things, and realising, actually, I'm much happier with you. It's a sitcom, rom-com, it's a rom-com plot that just happens to be about a carnivorous alien and a news reporter man. Yeah. It's over the top and cheesy as all hell. Yeah. Woody Harrelson's performance in it.
Tasty scenery.
He's doing similar levels of scenery chewing to Green Goblin, Spider-Man. Willem Dafoe. He's Willem Dafoe levels of chewing the scenery, and I love it. I think that his performance helps carry the film. Like, there's not much in the way of actual superhero plot, but his performance, as well as the Eddie and Venom back and forth, real nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what about you? What else have you watched?
I particularly like the club scene in that.
Oh, the club scene's great. The club scene is great.
I think anyone who might have been harbouring any thoughts that this isn't really, really homoerotic.
I mean, at the end, they... look, this film's been out for a little while. They literally say I love you to each other at the end.
Doesn't have to mean anything homosexual. They
I'm-
were roommates.
I mean, they were roommates, but also when you pair that with the fucking club scene, which
Oh yeah.
the directors have described in interviews as, "Oh yeah, this is Venom's coming out scene."
Absolutely.
And I'm like, hell yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Drop some Mandy at the club and go tell everyone how
I love
perfect. I love you. You're all perfect. I'm an alien.
Yeah.
It is a forgettable film that I enjoyed a lot.
It's fun popcorn trash, and
Yeah.
I'm glad we took the time to watch it.
If I hadn't watched it, I wouldn't have missed anything of great importance to the world. But I had a very fun time watching it.
I was
and I'm
mostly
glad
just
I did.
curious as one of the things that I haven't watched that I hadn't intended just specifically to
Yeah,
not
just
watch
hadn't
it.
gotten around to it.
Unlike the new one that's coming out with the vampire guy,
Oh, Morbius.
Morbius. Don't care. Don't want to watch anything with that
no.
kid in it.
That being said, I saw the end of a trailer for the new Doctor Strange,
Oh yes,
and as much as Benedict Cumberbatch,
indeed.
this feels like it's going to be a real important film for pulling together a lot of stuff that's been happening.
Indeed.
Yeah,
We don't have to pay money to see it.
wink.
We can wait until it's on streaming services.
Indeed, wink.
Link. Agatha.gif. Have you watched anything else?
I watched an interesting video on YouTube called "The Top Secret Plan to Explode a Nuclear Bomb in Yorkshire."
That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, on the Tom Scott YouTube channel. I won't go into too much detail.
It's only a short video.
It's only a short video. The short version, the plan was not to drop a nuke from the air onto Yorkshire, but they were going to dig a very deep hole, for a reason I will leave you to find out, explode a nuke underground, and then that was going to maybe solve a problem. Except no, there'd be a bunch of radiation down there that completely undoes the point of this. It took them like 2 years to realise that there would be radiation in the hole they made by exploding a nuke underground.
Geniuses.
Yes. So go watch that. It's a fascinating
If they'd
video.
asked anyone local.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyone local. There's a lot of engineers there. A lot of very smart thinkers.
I mean, these were the smart thinkers. The nuclear bombs at the time were not well understood, and they were still working out what they could or could not do with one. Can we explode one underneath Yorkshire?
No.
The answer turns out no.
Oh.
What about you? Did you watch anything else?
I watched the most recent series of Doctor Who,
Ooh.
season 13.
How was?
I enjoy Jodie's Doctor, but
Yeah.
I don't think she has been given the best of scripts generally speaking.
It's the same problem I had with Capaldi. I love the performance,
Oh,
but the
God, yeah.
stories are trash.
I preferred the stories in season 13
Yeah.
than I did to most of There was a couple of really good Capaldi episodes.
Yeah. Capaldi clearly had a good version of the Doctor that just didn't have the right people writing it.
I also felt like he was completely hamstrung by Clara, who I absolutely hated as a character.
Clara, I hated by the end. Her narrative wrap-up was infuriating.
Yes.
What I want... When she was announced... Just to sidetrack for a second. When she was announced, I got it in... As an act, she was going to be the new companion. I was so sure we were getting Dalek companion. Because that's the first time she showed up in the show as an actress, was being that Dalek.
That would have been fascinating.
Yeah, give me a weird alien companion. Give me
Especially a Dalek after
Yeah.
all these years.
I would care about Doctor Who if you gave me a Dalek companion.
I'm the Doctor. I'm here to help. Here is my friend, a Dalek.
Yeah, don't panic. I know that Daleks are real bad. Because it would create a built-in tension everywhere the Doctor went.
They could have had like a whole Dalek going undercover scene.
Yeah.
They could have done a
I
lot with
know.
it, but they did not do it.
Well, if season 13 is better, I might watch it while I work at some point soon. I'd mean just very...
You will have to deal with John Bishop as one of the
Oh,
companions.
Of course.
Because they've moved largely from Liverpool to from Yorkshire to Liverpool now, so...
Well...
Uh. Yeah, it was all right. And then I watched a bunch of John Pertwee era Doctor Who.
Yes, you did.
Because I realised I haven't watched full chunks. I've seen episodes here and there. I've seen stories here and there.
Yeah.
So this was I'm just gonna watch all of 3 at some point.
Yeah.
And I've watched the first 3 stories so far.
Yay.
We've had some Sontarans, we've had some Silurians.
Yay.
It's been interesting so far. We've had aliens from, I think they were from Mars. There was a whole thing about radiation. You can tell that this is one of the series where the BBC were like, fuck no budget.
Yeah.
You do not get a gravel quarry and lens gels. We're not going to colour grade an entire gravel quarry just for you. You're going to stay in and around BBC buildings. We'll also get you a yellow Model A or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time I've ever seen an episode with Bessie in. Proving just how little Pertwee I've seen.
Indeed.
I used to rent Death to the Daleks an awful lot as a kid, from our local All-Star video, and it was a cool and weird and fucked up episode, and it had the Daleks in, and that was very cool.
Yeah.
The only thing I really know about Pertwee outside of that is that he hated jargon stuff, which is why he's best known for using the phrase reversing the polarity of the neutron flow, because it was the only one he was willing to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reversing the polarity. What about you? Have you watched anything else?
The only other thing I've watched really was we rewatched Aliens with Fee and Steph.
We watched the theatrical trailer.
Yes.
Theatrical version.
Not a huge difference, but there definitely are a few things that hit less well in the theatrical cut.
I think so. Yeah.
Knowing that our lead has a daughter who she's missed her whole life and not gotten to see, plus getting to see more of the setup for Newt.
And also
really
just
helps.
the fact that they were colonists and they did have a whole proper community.
Getting a sense of what's been lost.
Yes.
Before just seeing the chaos.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is something quite stark about seeing and they got there and all there was some barricades that had clearly failed.
Yeah, and I don't think it necessarily, it ruins anything. It's just a different kind of experience.
Yeah, it hits very differently.
But that said, I still think Aliens is great.
It's a great film.
It's a wonderful film. I think it does a really good job of giving the right amount of very small introduction to a very large ensemble cast, so that you can care about the first wave of carnage that happens, and then focuses in on the correct group of people to follow. And I think that despite being a bigger, more dramatic action film where there's more just shoot the thing as it comes at you and that's enough, the emotional heart of the film's real good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you? You watched anything else?
That is everything I've watched.
Well then, time for this.
Laura, we've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you sometimes find yourself going and trying to get back into things when you're not really ready to go back? You've been ill, and you're like, it's okay. I'm not literally in a puddle on the floor anymore. Therefore, I can get back to my keyboard.
You are literally describing me precisely, the exact me. Yes.
Yes. Well, would you like a little foam hand to boop you on the snoot and tell you to get back to bed?
I mean, I wouldn't like that, but I could probably do with that.
Well, today's sponsor is the Rest and Recovery Alarm. It's a foam hand and a speaker, and it tells you to go back to bed if you've been working too much while ill.
Oh, yeah.
Boop on the snoot there.
Oh, yeah, let's give me another boop on the snoot. I'll finish this podcast and I'll go have a lie down.
It seems
it's tentatively getting ready to boot me again.
It's wagging the finger at you.
Okay, I'll if I don't as soon as the podcast's done, I'll get booped again. Okay, I understand.
How did it narrow its non-existent eyes at us?
I don't know.
I don't know. But if you feel that you need the little pointer to remember to take care of yourself when you're ill, even if you are sort of a freelancer. Try the rest and recovery alarm at restandrecoveralarm.lol.net.
I see you somehow narrowing your eyes at me, eyeless.
It's amazing how it does that.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello?
Are you up to much?
Oh, I'm just at home, pottering about.
Yeah. What would you be doing if I was there?
I don't know, it depends what our shared interests are. Do you like board games, video games, watching films?
Oh, I like games. Maybe we could play something together.
Oh, well that's nice. Well, I've got I've got Quaxer Quedlinburg and Clank and
Oh, Clank, you like chains, is it? You into that?
I mean, I had a wallet chain on my jeans back in the late 90s. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you doing anything later?
Oh, not much. Just sort of sitting around on my computer, just relaxing.
Oh, you like to relax. Maybe we could relax. Maybe we could relax together. Do something, Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, but you still haven't told me what our shared interests are, and I don't know what we would do if we spent time together, so who knows? Anyway, I've got to stop messaging now. I've got to head off for a shower.
Oh, I could join you in the shower.
I don't think there's enough room. It's a very small cubicle.
Yeah.
We'd have a very difficult time washing.
This isn't like it. This is what I was hoping for.
So, what have you put in your ears?
Not a huge amount. I've been doing a lot of podcast catch up. I finally properly started listening to some Taz Ethersea. Once I got through the long year prologue with the maps. I really like it.
Yeah.
It feels like what I enjoyed about Balance. And I don't know whether this will stay the same, but it seems to have hit a little bit of a stride of they're just having fun playing with characters and not trying as hard to instantly hit the narrative beats and make the early episodes be like end of multiple arcs, end of series stuff. And I'm enjoying being kind of back into the Adventure Zone. And it's been a while, like I really haven't... I fell off that train hard, and I'm kind of getting back on the rails, which is nice. I'm hoping I can stick with it, because if it stays like this, I'm having fun. But other than that, couple of little bits. I listened to a track that I've listened to before, but only really a live recording of it, called What's a Devil to Do by Harley Poe. It is a sort of folk punk track that plays around with, what if you were... It's sort of like, what if you were born knowing you were the Antichrist, but you wanted to be a good person? Like, you know that you are not destined for that, and that it's just going to be very difficult to happen, but, I don't want to be that, I just am. Neat little track. I listened to a lot of just protesty punk tracks, because I was feeling angry and protesty. That is in large part because I was writing an article about the protest last month, and I got very the energy of the lesbians that stormed the 6 o'clock news level protesty energy, and was listening to some just that kind of music. And a track that I kind of wanted to bring up again that I've talked about before, Gender is Boring by She, Her, Hers, which is just like an acoustic one person and guitar track about identifying as a trans woman and navigating the weird space that is relationship to the binary or not, and like those questions of what does it mean when I say that I am a woman? What is, am I reinforcing a binary through my identity? And, those kind of questions that you ask a few years into transition sometimes. It's a nice track, and it plays around in that space nicely. What about you? What have you listened to?
I have listened to a couple more episodes of the SCP Archives. They are currently working through, I think it's a 5 or 6 part series, called Serapis. and it's going. So it starts off in 2021, and it's a particular story about one specific area, but in that episode they're scattering things about stuff has happened here in the past, and we should look into that. But and it starts primarily as a group of people need to go underground and investigate something. I think it's something to do with they drain a lake and then they go through a tunnel system under the lake. And then bad things happen and they're like, run away, fill the lake in. And as part of that, somebody is sent, somebody is reactivated as an investigator and sent to investigate the thing as a whole, which sort of sets the wider narrative. Then there's 1997, which was part 2, and that was about a skiing resort that was being built, and there hadn't been any. It wasn't sort of an area known for its skiing, but the people who'd got involved were like, "This is really good powder. We could really get something going up here," and then kind of realised that it didn't have any like built-in infrastructure. So they sort of budgeted to build a hotel and budgeted to build sort of facilities and stuff, but they hadn't considered things like
getting running water and electricity up there,
and stuff like that, and all the issues. And there is sort of another plot going on with a murder, and that's 2 people, not SCP. They are FBI Unusual Incidents team or something.
Yeah.
And they're sent up there to investigate, and they talk about how, we've seen some weird shit. And their investigation around that murder.
And I'm guessing maybe that's connected to the first story somehow, and...
Sort of. There's also mention of... there's a lot more mention in this one than there was in the first one of a military base. There's sort of one passing comment in the first one. In the second one, there was like a lot of, oh yeah, the military used to be up here and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I get the impression the third one is probably going to be about the military base. Although it's dated 1992. That one's gone up today.
So we're sort of...
had a chance to listen to it.
So we're sort of going backwards in time with somewhat connected stories.
Yes, it's all about the same area.
Yeah.
And suspected the same SCP, but they're not saying what that is yet.
Oh, that's interesting. Let us know how that goes.
An interesting idea for a series, and I've been enjoying the first 2 episodes of that so far.
I'm curious to hear how the rest go.
Have you listened to anything else?
No, that's it for me, really.
Well, I've got a couple of little extra bits. We listened to King Punch.
We did! We saw King Punch live.
We did.
I very much enjoy them playing. They put on a very good, energetic show.
And you are very energetic to them.
Yeah, I was right up the front having a proper good knees up and a bounce. There was a little mosh pit going for a bit. It was very nice. I was sat on some stairs a little later, and one of the band came past and was like, they came and thanked me for being so sort of energetic and having such a good time up front. I was like, it's me, yeah.
You're very energetic up front.
Look, they hit that sweet spot between ska and rock that just like I'm very ready to have a go at it. And they do a very good live set in terms of like pacing their very fast ones with some sort of slightly slower ones between to, go right, here's the one, energy.
Yeah. And then a couple of hours later, I went and saw Buffalo's Wake, rather.
Yeah.
Who are more in the ska/Balkan rather than ska/rock.
Yeah.
Although they did do a ska version of a rock track, though I forget which one now.
Oh, what was the cover that King Punch did? It was a Nirvana track.
Lithium.
Lithium, yeah. It was a good cover of Lithium.
Crowd went wild.
Yeah. I was up the front with another trans femme just fucking screaming our heart out at that, having a great time.
It was a good night. And then I went off and listened to a DJ set by Beauty and the Beat. She was doing I suppose it's probably techno.
Yeah.
Verging on techno. It wasn't quite as busy in that room as usual.
Yeah.
But it was just like nice to get a bunch of people, not too loud, just playing some really hard sort of
Yeah.
aggy techno
With
beats
a-
to just stomp it out.
With a crowd that wasn't too aggy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They were lovely, in fact. Yeah, it was a really nice time, and
Yeah.
we got to listen to lots of really good music.
Yeah.
I think that's the last time we were healthy as well.
I got to be in the corridor where they played the late night rock music as well, and I made some friends belting it out to some mid 2000s rock.
Heck yeah!
Well, I think that's everything I've listened to.
Well then.
Time for this. I've had a realization. I need to talk to someone about this. Oh. Hey, hi.
Hi.
Oh, is your voice gone? Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. I have world-breaking information for you. So I lost my voice last week and I couldn't podcast. Yeah. And so I didn't podcast.
Oh, I've been trying to record one all day.
Well, see, here's the thing. The world didn't stop spinning.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I took a week off from podcasting and the world was okay.
But what if everyone leaves me and forgets I exist and the algorithm is unpleased?
I mean, I thought the same. 17 podcasts a week. I thought that, that's like missing 17 weeks of one podcast, missing 1 week of 17.
At least.
But no, it was fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, I brought you this go back to bed rest alarm with the little waggy finger.
Oh, I put my snoot.
Boop.
On my snoot. Okay, I'm going. How does it do that with his eyes? Okay. Ow. I'm going.
Do you know what day it is today?
Oh, it's the 15th of February,
It's
isn't
the
it?
15th of February.
Oh, I know what that means.
Cheap chocolate!
Cheap chocolate.
Cheap chocolate! How do you say I love you with this 17p chocolate heart?
I'm gonna eat all the chocolate that's here because you didn't give it to someone else because you loved them.
Oh, this one says, I love you very much. I love you very much.
Oh, thank you. Well, this one also says I love you very much.
Ow.
There you go. I love your prices very much,
Oh,
chocolate.
your prices very much. 6p that.
Oh, heck.
It's got fondant in the middle.
Look at that one. It's a very specific niche one about metamors. Looks nichely delicious.
I mean, it fit deliciously into a niche in my tum-tum.
Nom.
What about... Oh. Now, I see we're starting to slither down into the Easter section here. And yet, this was on sale because it was labelled Valentine's. Will you be my Valentine chocolate egg?
Oh, I see. Yes, will you be my Valentine chocolate egg for some reason?
Nom, nom. The egg of love.
Love has laid her egg for you.
Oh, this one's got other sweeties inside.
Oh.
And they're all little heart-shaped. Oh, I'm not sure why they needed to be individually wrapped, but
I
good.
mean, a day past Valentine's chocolate, you're my Valentine.
21p. Nice. It's the most romantic time of year.
Mhm.
Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social Justice Warriors.
Social Justice Warriors?
Yeah.
Alright, Larry.
Right, Barry, how you doing?
Not well, mate, not well.
I'm also not well.
Well.
Look, I had some work I was meant to do, and
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
I said we were going to hang out tonight.
No,
But
totally.
I feel like I need a self-care night. I think I need to take the night off and
you
just...
should absolutely have one, mate. It's very important that you take care of yourself and not push yourself too hard.
Exactly.
I know how it can be, especially when you are, someone who does a lot of work outside of perhaps a salaried job where you might get things like sick pay, that it can feel like you have to keep working constantly, even through the illest times.
Exactly, and it could, social stuff as well, you can feel like, I don't want to let anyone down by having to cancel social obligations, but sometimes you just have to recognise you're unwell and it's okay to give yourself space to heal, and no one's going to be upset at you for that.
Absolutely, mate. You get yourself off to bed, mate. Maybe
Very, very short hug.
Oh, short hug, yeah, mate. Oh, well, I hope you feel better. Hope you feel better. I'm going to pop the kettle on and get myself like a nice hot lemon. Do you want one?
Oh yeah, that should be real
I'll give you
good,
a
and then
lemon, mate.
I'll head back to bed after that.
Yeah. I'll come tuck you in, mate.
Oh, thanks.
So, Laura,
Yes,
we've got a book and you've got another book.
we do. We'll talk about the one we got together first. It's called
Yeah.
Who Wants the Whale? It's about the video game industry. A year in the life of a PA who's gotten a job at their dream AAA game development studio.
Supremacy Software.
Yeah, and
Which you might know from this show.
indeed, and has suddenly realised, oh no, capitalism bad for games. And navigating a year in that workplace. It is available to pre-order. We know when it's probably coming out, but it's all the balls are rolling.
Yeah.
You can pre-order it on Unbound. It'll at some point in the near future be available to pre-order other places, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
You can get signed copies and copies with all sorts of backer awards on Unbound, though.
Yeah, cool snazzy merch.
Yeah, swag bundle.
I want that
Swag bundle, I know, right? Oh, I'm going to turn up to so many conventions in fake video game company t-shirts.
I'm here from Supremacy Software.
Yeah, exactly. The book that I've got at the moment that releases on August 18th is Me and My Dysphoria Monster, which is
It's beautiful.
it's an illustrated children's book trying to sort of explain gender dysphoria in child-appropriate and child-understandable language, so that people who are going through that as children have language to talk about what they're experiencing, but also so that if you're an adult that, has young relatives who are asking questions, that you have some language that might be useful to explain to them. And I'm very proud of that book, and it comes out on August 18th, and I really hope people check it out, because it's beautiful and it's lovely.
It really is, and you should be proud of it. It's awesome.
I'm very proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'm on Laura K. Buzz everywhere. I'm not going to go into the whole spiel today, because voice, Laura K. Buzz everywhere. What about you, Jane?
Streaminglinks.com/Janiac, JANEIAC. For as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/StoneMonkeyRadio, you can help me justify a 76-hour work week, even when I'm dying.
Yeah.
Because it's the joy of being independent.
Yep. The work doesn't stop just because you do.
Although I didn't stream last week, and we didn't do Equips last week, but even so, there is the stress of not having done the work.
Indeed, I know it well.
I didn't do the work. Oh no.
Oh no.
I think that's everything. Laura, will you sing us out, please, darling?
Until next time, be a stranger.